and my fellow panel member. Before we begin our discussion, I would like to introduce myself first. I am the moderator of this discussion, Helen Shurui, and the following are my group members: Aina Shafika binti Rosli, Nur Shafika binti Aswani, Hayasri Anak Perempuan Munari, Nick Muhammad Zikri Hakim bin Azmi. Today, our group would like to discuss the recent legal factory fire in Bangladesh to the life of 112 people and highlight a key problem in the clothing industry. In my own opinion, I think that the factory owner, the Bangladesh government, and the multinational corporates should take the responsibility for this tragedy. Do you all agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you. The tragic factory fire in Bangladesh that claimed 112 lives reveal a tangled web of responsibility, with the Bangladeshi government at the forefront of blame. The government failed to enforce crucial safety regulation, and widespread corruption worsened the problem. Factory owner also played a significant role in this disaster by aiding uncredited store life building and choosing a location that hindered emergency responses, all in clear violation of safety standards. Moreover, multinational corporations like Walmart and Sears share some blame. Their constant pursuit of low-cost production pressure factory owners to cut corners, often at the expenses of worker safety. In essence, while the government is chiefly at fault for not upholding safety law, factory owner and international work company also bear responsibility for their role in undermining worker safety and ethical standards. So what do you think?
Yes, I agree with you, panel too. The tragic factory fire in Bangladesh highlights different but safety regulations situation. Factory owned cases like unauthorized construction and poor safety measures. Multinational corporations, driven by cost-cutting pressures, indirectly push for compromised safety standards, while the government bears primary faults. All stakeholders, governments, factory owners, and international cooperation must prioritize safety and ethics to prevent future tragedies.
Okay, let's move to next part, which is social ethics, political ethics, and justice and fairness as the ethical framework that can unpack this complex scenario.
I would like to elaborate this. First and foremost, the social ethic which emphasizes the duty of institution and society to safeguard the welfare of society, particularly in the garment industry where workers' rights and safety are prioritized by the governments and corporations. Besides, political ethics, focusing on protecting workers and ensuring safety is crucial in the context of the factory fire, highlighting the government responsibility to uphold safety laws and combat corruption. The third one is corporate social responsibility or CSR principles emphasize the ethical obligations of companies to conduct socially responsible business, ensuring the safety and well-being of employees. And next, utilitarianism is at worker safety is the crucial aspect of utilitarianism, which evaluate decision based on the stakeholders' action, aiming to maximize overall happiness and welfare of workers and society. Last but not least, diverse stakeholders are working toward justice and equity, ensuring fair allocation of benefit and responsibilities, and balancing government and large corporation responsibilities. Panel?
I agree with the statement because it's highlight that preventing the industrial fires like the one in Bangladesh requires shared responsibility. Social ethics mandate that government and company protect vulnerable workers. Politic, Political ethics stress the government's role in enforcing safety laws and combating corruption. Corporate social responsibility CSR requires company to ensure safe working conditions. Utilitarianism advocates for action benefiting the majority, including worker safety. Justice and fairness demand that both government and companies share the responsibility for factor safety. This idea collectively show that collaboration is essential to protect workers and prevent future tragedies.
I see your point there, but how do people use another framework to decide who is responsible for this incident?
From my side, I think multinational corporations hold significant power over the supply chains and share responsibility for safety issues because their demand for low-cost production. This company need to implement strict safety standards and actively support the suppliers in maintaining safe and ethical working conditions. Does anyone agree with me?
You are a point there, but social ethics implies the moral responsibility to protect the safety and right of workers, putting well-being ahead of profit, especially for low-wages workers in the clothing industry. In addition, governmental responsibility implies the obligation of government to enforce safety regulation, fight corruption, and ensure safety working conditions. However, factory owners also influence the need to comply with safety standards, track worker fairness, and implement safety measures to prevent regency. Collective action is essential to creating safe and ethical working environment. Besides, are you all sure the ideas are realistic or ideas?
Actually, the ideas are a mix of both realistic and ideal scenarios. Today, we will explore the ethical and practical consideration in ensuring worker safety in global manufacturing. Ideally, governments, factory owners, and corporations will all recognize their responsibilities to ensure worker safety. However, our economic pressures and market dynamics often lead to compromises. Governments in developing countries face corruption, limited resources, and the need to attract business, resulting in poor enforcement of safety regulations. While justice and fairness aim for an equitable distribution of responsibilities, reality shows that marginalized workers often bear the brunt of unsafe conditions. Factory owners under pressure to cut costs may prioritize short-term survival over long-term safety investments. This exacerbates risk to workers. Corporate social responsibility ideally demand investment in worker safety, but many companies prioritize profit margins, leading to compromised safety standards. Overcoming these challenges requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders to achieve social ethics, political morality, and justice. In conclusion, the proposed framework outlines realistic action for stakeholders, but economic pressures, corruption, and competing interests make implementation challenging. By acknowledging these issues and working together, we can strive for a safer, and more equitable environment for workers. Does anyone agree with me?
I agree with you, and I would like to add some comprehensive fire prevention strategy. To prevent industrial fire from occurring, it is important to implement a multi-phase approach. The first one is conduct hazard analysis to identify potential fire hazard and develop strategies to mitigate them. The second one is invest in preventive maintenance. It was a regularly check and maintain equipment to prevent a damage. Next, train employee. That means that we should educate employee about a fire safety, including causes, prevention, and response. And last one, establish a fire prevention plan and emergency procedure to develop a detailed plan for emergencies such as evacuations and fire response procedure.
But what is needed to prevent this issue from happening again in real life?
After what was discussed just now, so we have several actions that need to be taken. Our first point of discussion is strengthening government enforcement. The government of Bangladesh must strictly enforce existing construction norms and safety requirements. Surprise inspection should be carried out regularly to ensure compliance. Next, empowering workers through training is another key area. Yes, employees should receive training on safety procedure and their rights. This includes regular fire drill and education on identifying and reporting hazards. Additionally, factories should establish and support workers' unions and safety committees. This empowers workers to demand safer working conditions. Next, encouraging compliance with safety rules is the next. The government and international buyers can develop incentive programs to recognize and reward factories that comply with safety regulation. This could include access to favorable loan condition, tax breaks, or preferential treatment in procurement processes. Now, let's discuss improving infrastructure. Factories should be located in areas with easy access to emergency services. Zoning and urban planning regulation must be followed to prevent industry from being built in remote locations. Investing in public infrastructure to improve accessibility and response times of emergency services, such as fire department, is also crucial. And some other action can be taken, like promoting transparency and accountability is vital as well. Moving on the next point, let's talk about fighting corruption, and lastly about global standard and trade policies.
I agree that prevent industry fire like those in Bangladesh, we need to strengthen government enforcement of safety regulation, apply punishment, fight corruption, and so on. So in conclusion, the factory fire in Bangladesh reveal a shared responsibility between the government, factory owner, and the international companies. Addressing this issue requires stronger safety law enforcement, anti-corruption measure, worker empowerment, and enhance to international standard. It is only through collective action that the garment industry will be able to protect the worker life and ensure ethics. So thanks all of you participate this Zoom meeting of this tonight. And thank you, sir, watching our presentation video.